Good evening, respected chairman and delegates. I present to you our data on robotic training as well as the standards available now. A lot of changes are coming up in the technology of minimal access, including laparoscopy and robot. Some are counterintuitive, some are intuitive. We need to adapt and modulate to all these technologies. Most of us were slow to adapt it because of we are worried about the port side metastasis and clearance. But all this lot of data has come where it has been proved MIS is equivalent in oncological clearance compared to open surgeries and has lesser morbidity and mortality. So we have changed our approach, our way of operating. There are different platforms available in robotic, and one thing is sure, the training should be independent from these industry driven marketing, and the training should be free and training should be equal for all surgeons. No more $3,000 or $4,000 for one day training. Hope it comes in the future. But above all, the individual skills of the surgeon is most important in this robotic surgery. It is not the machines that make us good, it is the surgeon who makes the machines good. Problem is in private institutes, the surgeons demand that the senior most surgeon operate the case, and in central institutes, because of the too much rush, the residents are deprived of training in robotic surgery, and there is inconsistency in curriculum. Learning curve, nobody knows how long. It depends upon individual surgeon in competency and mastery. The phase can vary, the curve can vary in different people in different ways. It is always circular. Even when we become mentor, we meet people who are seniors and then learn from them. The first thing is train the team in pre-console, console, and clinical cases. Then after few cases, we become mentor, and then again mentor goes to train others. And during this process, he also learns. This is like training the trainer. The circle is continuous, and the technical skills and cognitive decisions is a continuous process during the lifetime of a surgeon. It never stops. We never stop learning. The platforms are different, but the whole surgeon and the operating team, everyone should be trained to 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 learn how to move these instruments, how to manage the time, and have every institute should have their own curriculum and credentialating system for proficiency and efficiency. The team, the assistant, analyst, nurse, technician, all should be trained in interpersonal and cognitive skills, which can be web-based program or on-site training, as well as a robotic simulator. Pre-console, different systems have different training. Some are palm based, some are finger based, some are arm based. So we need to learn all these things. Have bedside manners, like the assistant telling when the instrument is inserted, installed, and when it is removed. Laparoscopy training may help many surgeons. A standard protocol should be done by each program in dry lab, wet lab, case material, and case surgery. Initially, we start with online modules with virtual test where scoring is there, and pass and improvement grade certificates are available. A lot of simulators are in the market which can be used and installed by each training institute, and the operator team can learn how to suture, how to move and instruments and the rings and all that. Then later on, the training is done in the operating room. The preclinical, the cadaver training, again, wet laboratory cadaver training is very important. Only two or three centers are available in India, and it is quite expensive. Therefore, virtual reality exercises can help. The surgeon himself should move the cart, position the patient, wheel the robo, how to place the arms, how to avoid injury to the patient during the surgery, and how to stow the robo. All these things should be learned by the surgeon, the team, and all the team members. The boom orientation, docking, targeting is also very important. The earlier robots were very tough. The present robots are quite easy. One should learn, the surgeon himself should learn how to perceive the depth, avoid overshooting, and be precise. The use of both hands and dexterity of the bimanual skills are quite important in robotic surgery. The move should be very close to the target, and we should have good focus while operating it. The sensitivity of the tissue should be learnt over a period of time, how to avoid injury during the vessels and the bowel manipulation with the instruments. Some instruments are sensitive, but some like progress band are very tough. So we need to learn each instrument and adapt to that. And the robotic control of the camera instrument and avoid collision. Avoiding the collision is also quite important. There are many skills are available with models available. These can be used to suture as well as to move the cubes, the triangles, etc. How to avoid trauma, and they are attached with a software where it will tell whether the surgeon is doing properly or not, and whether he is damaging the tissue, and it will grade the moves, the surgeon's moves, and give a score. The stapler also, the sensitivity, the firing, All these things can be learnt during the training. And then once you finish the basic training, we go to the specific training like organ based, for example, Severance, Taiwan, China, so many other centers are available. And we should follow a robotic surgeon how to do that. A lot of library modules are available on different systems like colorectal, nephrectomy, prostatectomy, etc. These things can be accessed. The administration as well as surgeon himself can score himself how he is operating, how he is doing, and grade himself in competency, proficiency, and mastery, and then grade others over a period of time once he is trained fully, and give a standard curriculum, robotic curriculum, and procedure specific modules can be created. The senior surgeons and professional assistants can play a good role in these things. We did basic training in Roswell. Then once we needed specific training, we chose the Severance Robotic Institute because our malignancies and their malignancies are common. Then we followed their experts. Then we started simple surgeries. Then we introduced a 1 year fellowship program and hands-on training, and then entered the mentorship program. The present industry should change. It should not be market driven or industry driven. The cost should be cut down and the training should be free. All institutes should be provided with a simulator and to train every member of the team, and the certification should be robust, and genuine scoring system should be given for cuttings, holding, pressure, clipping, etc. And the training should, after the training is completed, a satisfactory scoring should be done. One should remember that oncological clearance is very important. One should not compromise. Robot doesn't give a warrant to do less. For example, Sullenberger, he learned to train himself how to land in water, and then he could land when the real need arose and saved the people's lives. But if you have a high gadget in a fool's hand, it can cause problem to the patient. So we should ensure oncological clearance, good margins, avoid recurrences, and give different good disease-free survival. Interacting with different surgeons across India has helped me learn more and be humble and be modest. This is how the OR looks like. I am fortunate to have operated all the 6 generations of these robots, including the single port. This is how the robots, different robots are there. This is an XI robo, and then the earlier versions was a SIHD, and also we could operate on the present single port, which is a 3.5 centimeter 3.5 centimeter 3.5 centimeter port through which all these robo instruments go in. But unfortunately, it is not yet launched in India because it is quite expensive. Hopefully, more modifications will come in the future. And then future is now. So many innovations are coming. Unless we learn this present, we'll not be ready for the future. There will be a lot of disruptors in technology. We should learn how to use Firefly technology. The stapler technology is a little different compared to manual stapler which we use. And then use the Firefly for lesions, for nodal clearance, for anastomosis, for vascularity, and so many modifications. Artificial intelligence and virtual reality will be there in the OT, where mentorship can be conducted from remote as well as inside the OT. Holographic technology is still in infancy, but definitely the future will see more innovations where we can correlate the tumor clearance and all. Maybe the robots will be delivered to the home, and things like nanobots will be there, which will help kill the tumor cells at their inception. Surgeon may operate with mind in the future, not with hands, and the chips may be installed on the brain, and then which will communicate with the chips on the robotic instruments, and with the training modules available, the surgery will be conducted. The robot, lot of changes are coming, and the more flexible these machines become, the more flexible the future robots also will come. We need to evolve, adapt, and know strength and limitations which each instrument. Then only we can do better. One thing is sure, good surgeons will make use of technology. The technology doesn't make us good. But we should always remember to respect our open surgeons. Without open surgery, it is very difficult to do these minimally invasive surgeries. And also, we should have develop the judgment when to stop our surgeries and when to open, when to do laparoscopy, when to do robo, which cases to do, which cases not to do. All these things will come over a period of time. Uh, One thing, is there the robots and artificial intelligence may be predetermined, the software may be preloaded. Like for example, the lives of the instruments is not correct. To fix a life of instrument 10 cases, 15 cases is dictatorial. These things should change. And also the humans and the surgeons with their thinking, with their mind, can adapt to the situation, adapt to an emergency, and then accordingly operate. Whereas the robots are pre-software, pre-fixed programs, so they can be detrimental to the patient sometimes. So the robot can be a good tool only in the hands of a surgeon, not on its own. Thank you for giving me this